has the most powerful main battle tank in the world been deployed to Ukraine? Plus, is Ukraine striking back after Russia's drone attacks on its cities? I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. It's November 27th, 2023. This is your daily Ukraine update. Let's get into it. Okay, first we're taking a look at the combat map because there's no changes to the control map in the last 24 hours. But the most significant one is a location unverified photo from the front lines. And this is a grainy, it looks like a GoPro image of a U.S. Abrams main battle tank deployed to Ukraine. They've tagged this as being in the east, and based on the sort of terrain, right? I'm inclined to say that's correct. So here we go. Let's get some images for you guys. So this is, of course, the Abrams. Let's see if we can find an Abrams from about the same angle. You can see it's got a pretty distinctive silhouette with its treads that kind of come up a little bit and the sort of undercut turret. So we see here, right, something similar happening. At least they have the same turret shape. Again, remember the Abrams that were deployed to Ukraine are slightly earlier models. They're going to be models that have been tagged as being retired from the U.S. military service, right? So you can see, again, it's about the same. But the most important thing, again, is to note that they're in the battle, right? They're in the fight. This sort of environment, right? This churned up sand, these pine trees. I haven't actually seen these pine trees anywhere except for the eastern front of Ukraine. So I suspect that this is probably actually not too bad a guess as to where this might be taking place. And in all likelihood, these are probably these vehicles are probably deployed to the front, but they're probably not being put in high stakes operations right now. Instead, they're probably just being sort of trialed out in various regions. Since the logistic systems, maintenance systems, these all need to be sort of polished up and refined before they really get rolled out at scale. The Abrams is notoriously hard to maintain. Also interesting is that there's actually supposedly a bunch of power outages in Crimea, but as a result of a pretty intense series of storms that have kind of rocked the peninsula. Anyway, guys, the other thing that's worth noting, again, WarMappers got a bunch of updates for the week. They're actually WarMappers listed the entire eastern portion of the town of Kinki as being contested now as Ukrainian forces attempt to expand into the town writ large. So, again, not exactly tremendous progress, but a sign that the amphibious operation is continuing. Now, if you guys have to deal with family over the holidays, you need some energy to tolerate your uncle or your cousin's like totally brain dead takes. Bro, he totally just took an undergrad course in history, so maybe you should just shut your mouth. If you need to tolerate that stuff, as we all do, you're going to need some energy. Check out Strike Gum. It's a veteran-owned company, namely owned by this veteran, but manufactured right here in the USA at a facility in Denver. We found a way to concentrate an entire energy drink's worth of caffeine, 90 milligrams, as much as a Red Bull or an Amp Energy, into just a single piece of gum. Each one of these pieces of gum contains 0 sugar, 15 calories, refreshing mint flavor, and 90 milligrams of caffeine plus 100 milligrams of alpha GPC for maximum cognitive focus. So best of all, of course, if you go to strikegum.com, 50% of the sales of this first production run, or the profits of this first production run, I'm going to be donating to charities that benefit Ukrainian civilians who've been injured or displaced in the conflict. Now, if you are watching this on Sunday, we should still have our Black Friday promotion going on. I'm actually going to see if we can extend it just till Monday, but you can use promo code Black Friday to get 25% off any order over $70. And if you do the math, the tray contains 75 total pieces of gum, which means that compared to a $4 energy drink, you're looking at like 90 cents a piece. So if you're someone who spends a lot of money on energy drinks, this is a great alternative. So check us out, strikegum.com. Now, the other story I wanted to point out is that Ukraine did not take this brutal Russian drone assault on Kiev lying down. Instead, the Russian air defenses have reported that they have been targeted by at least 24 drones, right? Moscow will happily tell you how many drones it struck down, but it won't tell you the actual number that it were attacked or were used offensively. I want to point out that there's been a lot of videos coming out of Russian social media showing footage of apartment complexes and office buildings getting hit with these drones, and the parking lots, all of the cars having their alarms go off. I want to point out that I don't condone attacking civilian infrastructure when Russia does it, and I don't love the fact that Ukraine also seems to be attacking civilian infrastructure. There's a lot of military targets within Russia that Ukraine could use these drones against, and that's what I want to see, right? The average Russian, believe it or not, they don't live in a free country. They didn't really have a choice. And so obviously I don't want to see them get hurt, especially not when there's a ton of legitimate military targets to throw these drones at. But the important thing is that Russia knows that it can't simply throw these drone attacks at Ukraine and expect nothing to happen. Anyway, that's really all I had for you guys. Thank you guys so much, as always. Thanks to the Colonel tier members at combatvetnews.com. Hit like and subscribe on the video so that you tell the YouTube algorithm that I'm making quality content here. I appreciate everybody who supports me on combatvetnews.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.